the NHT has boosted construction loan limits to 11 million for one applicant and up to 23 million for 3 co-applicants. We are building Jamaica.
The time by the office of the Prime Minister is
6 minutes after 9.
You're inside the Consumer Hour with Nora Gay Banton.
Good morning to you. It is Monday, September 8th, 2025. We are alive and well, and for that we give God thanks. Good morning to you. If you're listening on the 90 FM band, 90.3, 90.5, 90.7 or 90.9, thank you so much for joining us on your radio. We appreciate your company there. If you're listening and watching on our YouTube channel, good morning to you as well. The channel is Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. That's Nationwide 90 FM LIVE with the number 2 beside that. Go on over there and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Want to say good morning to Rick NYCJM, who is first in the YouTube chat this morning. Seeing David Nebar as well. Good morning to you, David. Anis Campbell Murray, top of the morning to you. Hugh Donaldson, Rider 40, Roger Smart, good morning. Who else is there? Errol Townsend, top of the morning to you as well. Nadine Bell, Katie Buello, good morning. Jean Sellers, good morning to you. Arlene Rowe, him personified. Zazzy Girl, Kariva Peart, Melissa Williams, Rupert Wilson, Nikon Vision, Monica Stone. Good morning to all of you over there on YouTube. Thank you for joining us on that platform. If you're listening from our mobile app, which is available for free on the Google Play and the Apple App Store, good morning to you. And those on our website, the Listen Now option there, morning to you as well. Thank you for making it Nationwide 90 FM. This morning, it's a Monday morning, and you know what happens on Mondays already. It's Immigration Mondays. All right, and inside Immigration Mondays, we are joined by U.S. Immigration Attorney Opal Lee and Canadian Immigration Consultant Nadine Mahabir. Feel like I haven't seen these ladies in quite a while. Good morning to you, Opal and Nadine.
Good morning, Nora. Good morning, Nadine. Good morning to our wonderful listeners and viewers. Happy Monday. Yes, it feels like we haven't seen you for quite some time. Yeah. You've been having too much fun, Nora.
I work in Opal is not fun. Is Nadine there? Good morning, Nadine.
Good morning, Miss Nora. Good morning, Miss Lee. And of course, good morning to our wonderful listeners and viewers. Thank you for joining us. And welcome back, Nora.
Thank you so much. All right. So this morning, if you're new to the program, inside Immigration Mondays, we usually get an update on immigration-related matters from Canada and the United States. And then after that, we will open the phone lines for you. If you have any questions at all that Opal or Nadine can answer, we will throw them out and they will see how best they can give you a response or ask you to book a consultation. It may be something that is better done in a consultation setting than on the airwaves. All right, so I'm gonna go to Nadine first and then Opal. Is Nadine hearing me or is she? Okay, let's go to Opal. Is Opal? Oh, it was me. Okay, Nadine, go ahead. Oh, no. All right. Let's go to Opal then. Is Opal hearing me?
Yes, I am
All
hearing
right,
you
good.
loud and clear. All right, so not per se an update, but just to remind our listeners and viewers that yes, the ICE raids are still rampant. It has not cooled off. Pretty sure everybody in the media has seen the recent, over like 475 people with that factory raid in Georgia, where 475 people from that Hyundai factory were detained. I think about 300 of whom were South Korean, but the South Korea has reached an agreement with the U.S. Department to go ahead and release those people, and they're going to send their own plane to take back their 300 and something people. But the bottom line is the U.S. government doesn't really matter right now. A lot of people are saying, how can this be happening? We're talking about people who maybe are not criminals or have no the only violation might be immigration violation. It is still this administration's stance that even a civil violation, such as an immigration violation, is considered a criminal violation. And so you have to be, I know a lot of people are saying that they have to still feed their family members and and stuff and themselves. But the fact is, it is still going on. As a matter of fact, even recently, the government also talked about the raids that they're thinking about doing, and in Washington, D.C., they're basically saying, listen, they're not going to have any mercy. It doesn't matter if you are have no criminal violation at all. They just don't want you here, period, if you don't have your immigration status sorted out. I also see people have been asking me about what has been in the news with this U.S. citizen, USPS worker, which is a United States Postal Service worker who was a United States citizen, and his status was recently revoked after it was deemed that he allegedly stole 1.6 million US dollars worth of checks from in the mail. And they're saying, how comes he was a US citizen though when he was convicted? But it's something I spoke about here on Nationwide before, that when you apply for your US citizenship, and on that N400, there's a question that asks, have you ever committed a crime for which you have not been arrested? So in this guy's case, apparently he had been stealing this mail, this money, all, for years, even while he was a permanent resident. And even though he wasn't arrested for it, mind you, not even convicted. So he had he doesn't have any criminal record or never been arrested, and never committed a crime. Well, lo and behold, he got his citizenship. And after he got his citizenship, he was actually arrested for this charge that was, that the act per se he was already doing this. And so that's how it was so easy for them to go ahead and revoke him, because he would have lied on that application. So be mindful, guys, even if you're here right now, you're a permanent resident, you're filing for your citizenship, even though you may not have been arrested, if for example, you're doing anything illegal right now, be very careful. Maybe you have not been arrested, you have not been convicted of it. But later on, if you plead guilty to something and the act began while you were a permanent resident, then yes, that will absolutely be grounds for having your citizenship revoked. Same thing if you're married in Jamaica per se, or your country of origin, you forget about that marriage or don't disclose it, and then you come to the United States, get married to somebody, that person filed for you, and you think they're not going to catch up to you. They may catch up to you later on, and yes, your citizenship may be revoked.
Well, lots happening in the United States. For those of you who are there, do what you need to do and do it correctly. For those of you who are not yet there, or you want to be there, get there in the right way. Keep saying that, guys. Sometimes if we do things the right way from the beginning, we will avoid certain situations. And don't think that because they didn't catch up to you, you get away. See that man there? Look how long him a thief the people them check. And him never know, say, him think him get him citizenship and him good. And it was revoked. So guys, just be careful, please. We're up on a break. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to get the update from Nadine Reed, Canada, and then we open the phone lines for you.
Decorate and redecorate your space with water-resistant, colorful, and fast-drying paints from Edgechem Paints. The time by Edgechem Paints. Changing lives 1 gallon at a time is
9:16.
Have you just finished grade 11? Looking for a 2-year sixth-form pathway to earn overseas local certificate diploma and advanced diploma and get qualified to work locally and internationally? Register now. Start free sixth form at IIRQ Academy. Start our new sixth form program online or face-to-face classes in September. Choose between pathway 1, 2, or 3. Paid for by the Ministry of Education. For more information, call 876-322-4029 or visit 32 Hope Road, Kingston. Website www.iirq.org.
Outperform, outlast. We top performance. Chakama. Reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electrician. Fancy electrodes, 3 parts and 3 repairs. 3 parts, 3 repairs. With 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-6111-4. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
Spring into style with Unique Living. Upgrade your home with our extensive range of products. Get sleek shower panels, stylish vanities, LED and non-LED mirrors, plus kitchen sinks, closet solutions, ceiling fans, and more. Available in various finishes and sizes. Visit shop number 6, 30 Donovan Avenue, Kingston 10. Call 876-755-3661 or visit our website at www.uniquelivingja.com. Don't wait to spring into style with Unique Living.
Good morning. You're back here inside the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Nora Gay Banton, and it's Immigration Mondays this morning. We're joined by U.S. Immigration Attorney Opal Lee and Canadian Immigration Consultant Nadine Mahabir. Before the break, Opal gave us, well, not really an update, but just to remind us of what is happening in the United States and a word of warning to all of those others who are there in the United States or intend to go to the United States. I don't think there's anybody trying to get into the United States illegally at this point, but just in case the thought crosses your mind, please just go online and just read what's happening in the United States. I beg of you. All right, we're gonna go to Nadine now. Good morning, Nadine. What do you have for us?
Hi, Nora. Thank you. My apologies for earlier. Okay, so Nora, actually, I have a reminder as well. Now, Nora, I know you might have missed this, but Immigration Canada actually reopened I'm going to say they reopened, but they took some persons from the pool of applicants. So unlike the US, where the parent sponsorship category is always open, Canada only reopens the sponsorship to sponsor your parents or grandparents maybe once for the year. And they're actually taking persons who have been in the pool, so those who submitted an interest to sponsor form from 2020.
Ooh.
Okay. So if you know that you submitted an interest to sponsor form in 2020, please check the email that you were using at the time, because of course, this is how Immigration Canada communicates with persons who submitted this interest to sponsor form, Nora. Not only check your inbox, but make sure that you check your spam folder as well, because you only have until October 9th, I'm going to say October the 8th, to submit all of your supporting documents and your application forms, both for yourself and the parent or parents that you're sponsoring. And very important as well, Nora, please make sure that when you're submitting your documents that you do check your income, because if the person who is doing the sponsoring doesn't meet the income requirements, you can have a co-signer who, well, only your spouse can be your co-signer. So whether it's your common law or you're married to the person. So please ensure that you take a look at the income requirements and make sure that you meet the income requirements when you're submitting your documents and application forms. Thanks, Nora.
All right. Thank you so much, Nadine. So for some of those persons who may have, forgotten about it, check your email. You may have a very early Christmas present in your email. So look at that and see if you can reconnect your family for the upcoming holidays. All right. Thank you, Nadine and Opal, for those reminders. We are gonna now open the phone lines for you, and we'll take your questions from the YouTube chat as well. So if you have any questions, immigration related, re Canada or the United States, you can give us a call. The numbers to call 876-630-9371. There's also 630-9372, 630-9373, 630-9374, and our Digicel line is 618-8255. The first caller on the line is Miss G. Good morning, Miss G.
Good morning, Miss Bantanen. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good, and welcome back.
Thank you.
I would like to talk to Miss Opal, please.
Sure, go right ahead.
Oh, good morning, Miss Opal, and how are you today?
I'm doing wonderful, and I hope the same for you.
Yes, ma'am, I'm okay. I have a question, ma'am. My friend in Florida bought a ticket for me. She said she wants me to spend 3 weeks with her. But my problem is, I hear that my visa soon, the visa going to expire on the 25th of November. So I'm wondering if I can still travel.
Yes, I mean it's still valid right now. Yes, you can go ahead and take that trip right now.
Okay. Some people is telling me that they're going to turn me back because my visa soon expire.
Oh, but it's still valid right now. Right now we're only in September and it doesn't expire until November. So you can take that. By the way, how has been your trips before this? What's the longest you've ever stayed in the US within the last maybe couple of years?
1 month. I went up December last year and I come back on the 4th of January.
Okay, so that's not bad. And so I don't know, but you should have no problems actually having it renewed. But for right now, your visa is still valid, so there's nothing wrong with traveling right now.
Okay, thank you very much, Mama.
Yeah, and when you come back, as soon as you come back, then you just renew.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. And have a good day.
You too.
Okay, bye.
All right, Miss G, you take care. The next caller online is Jennifer. Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning. This is for Opal. I have a friend who is in the States, but what happened is that she has had a green card for 10 years now, so she wants to go in for citizenship. Last travel date out of the country was, I think it was April 2021. She wants to know when should she put in for citizenship.
Okay, your phone is breaking up a little bit. So this person is in the US right now as a green card holder?
Yes.
And she's putting for her citizenship?
She wants to know when is a good time to put it in because her last travel date in the last 5 years was April last year. April 2021, sorry.
Okay, I'm not sure I understand. What's the question?
She wants to. She says her is your friend, Jennifer.
Yes.
She wants to know when she can apply for citizenship.
All right. So how did she get the citizenship? Was it through like a child filed for her, or parent, or something, or a sibling?
A child filed for her.
Who filed for her?
Her child.
Okay, so you're eligible for citizenship after you have had the green card for at least 5 years, and then you can submit the application 90 days prior to that 5-year anniversary. And of that 5 years, she must have spent at least 2.5 years in the United States. It doesn't have to be consecutive, Just when we add up all the time, she has to have at least 914 days in the US. So it's 5 years from the date that she became a permanent resident. So she became a permanent resident in January 2021, then she's eligible for citizenship January 2026. She can put the application in, before January, like 90 days before January 2026, but they won't approve it until it's been the 5 years anyway.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thanks for calling.
All right. Thank you so much, Jennifer. A question to you, Nadine. The sponsoring your parents. How does it work when your parent has a dependent? Can that dependent automatically go on to that sponsorship?
Nord, so for Canadian immigration purposes, a dependent is defined as a child who is 22 years of age or under, or if the child is over 22 and has a mental or physical condition. I'm assuming it's a child they're talking about.
Right.
Yes, the dependent can be included. Well, they have to be included on your application. And the child in Canada who is sponsoring you will need to account for all of your family members. So when they're looking at the income information, they're looking at the sponsor in Canada, whether or not they have a spouse and their dependent children, plus the person they're sponsoring and their dependent. So yes, your dependent should be included, because you do need to declare them whether or not they're coming to Canada with you. And they also need to be examined, meaning they will need to do their medicals. And if they're, I believe, over 16, they will also need to do police records.
And what?
No.
Yes.
Because I want to say something about that, because it's a big difference in the US with that point.
Okay.
So I just wanted to.
Just a follow-up question for Nadine, and then Opal, you can give what's happening on the US end. For when you put in that when you get into the pool, Nadine, what if that dependent ages out before they pull from the pool?
Then they would not be able to be included on the application, because they're no longer, when you submit the information that you want to be selected from the pool, Nora, that is not when, of course, you're actually selected, because they're now drawing persons from 2020.
Right.
So it means that, yes, some dependent children at the time would no longer be considered a dependent child right now, unfortunately.
I see. Opal, you can go ahead.
Yeah, that's a big difference from the US. So even though as a US citizen, and then you're 21 years old or over, you're eligible to file for your parent. If that parent has a minor child, which would be your sibling, no, you would have that child doesn't automatically just migrate with that parent. You would have, because now it's your sister or brother that you'd be filing for. You would have to file as absolute separate immigrant petition. And as a sibling, filing for a sibling, it takes about 16 years. So what I normally recommend is that you file for the parent. Once a parent migrates, become a legal permanent resident, then that parent turns around and file for his or her minor child, and it might take about 3 years or so. But no, that sister or brother would not be able to sponsor that sister or the other sister or brother. That will never happen in the US.
All right, we are up on a break. Question for you. After we come from the break, someone wants to know if persons with green cards can also file for relatives. So we'll take that response from Opal after the break.
Spectrum Insurance Brokers provides quality insurance coverage and risk management services. The time by Spectrum Insurance Brokers Limited, setting the industry standards, is
9:30.
Home is more than a roof over your head. It's safety, dignity, and pride. This is why the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development continues to build and furnish concrete houses for our most vulnerable through the Indigent Housing Program. Since the program's inception, we have built more than 100 houses, and another 45 will be constructed this financial year. We're building sturdy homes for Jamaicans who need it the most. Built strong, built to last. Local government is working for you.
All roads lead to Pop Fashion, 54 to 56 Barnett Street, Montego Bay. We're having a back to school special from now until September 12. Yes, from now until September 12, we stock all your back to school items. Seagull backpack with lunch bag, Seagull school shoes, and hardcover books. We also have white blouse and boys khaki suits. If you don't see what you want, ask for it or just run upstairs. We're open from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday. Follow us at TikTok Pop Fashion or down to Pop Fashion, 54 to 56 Barnett Street, Montego Bay for great deals. Remember, special ends September 12. Pop Fashion, your back to school one-stop shop.
Good morning. You're back here inside the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM. It's Immigration Mondays. We're joined by U.S. Immigration Attorney Opal Lee and Canadian Immigration Consultant Nadine Mahabir. And we are taking your calls, taking your questions. So if you have any immigration related matters, Canada or the United States, give us a call. You are on filing or you want to apply for a passport, visa, whatever it is, give us a call, and Opal and Nadine are here to answer your questions. Before the break, Opal, someone was asking if green card holders can also file for relatives.
Mother, I think that was asking for mother. So green card holders cannot file for a parent, but a green card holder can file for unmarried children and for their spouses.
Unmarried children and spouses. All right. Thank you so much, Opal. All right, let's get to some of the questions from YouTube. Oh, well, that was responded to. Yes. Okay, you want contact numbers. We will get to the contact numbers soon. Keep listening. Opal and Nadine will give their contact information very soon. Roger Smart says, is it okay for H-1B and H-4 visa holders to apply for Canadian visitors visas?
Nora, sorry, can you repeat the question for me, please?
So it says, is it okay for H-1B and H-4 visas, those are US visas, visa holders to apply for a Canadian visitor's visa?
Most definitely. The only thing you need to bear in mind and of course show is when does your work permit for the US expire? I would not recommend applying for a visitor's visa for Canada when your permit is about to expire. I would recommend making sure that, you probably have at least 6 months. Opal, I don't know how long these visas or work permits are valid for, but I would probably say have at least 6 months validity when you're applying.
All right. Opal?
Right. So the H-1B, if it's for the H-1B, it will tell you, because that's a work visa. And so normally it could be valid for 3 years or more for the H-1B.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Here's another one from YouTube. It says, I'm a permanent resident in the United States. My daughter is 17 and she is here in the States with me. Can she adjust her status here?
All right, so the only way a permanent resident filing for a minor child, the only way that child is able to adjust is if that child has no inadmissibility, meaning if the child entered with a visa and was given, for example, 6 months, that child cannot have overstayed. If they overstay by even 1 day, they won't be able to adjust to the United States. And 2, a visa number must be current. So she would have to check the visa bulletin to make sure a visa number is current. I suggest that she do a consultation.
All right. We have a caller on the line. Who do we have? We have... All right. So we're going to that caller pretty short. Angela. Angela, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Angela. Sorry. Good morning, Hopewell.
Good morning.
Nora and Nadine. All right, my question here to you is that I have a little situation. I have an upcoming visa appointment, and I had put in for a renewal, but then they send my picture and passport and my expired passport with the old visa in it. So when I put it in, they sent back the visa, the passport and stuff, and they said that the visa was denied under Section 22 1G of the Immigration National Act, and then they said you must follow up with an interview, and I must go to the website and schedule an appointment. So I did so. So I'm supposed to be going in for an interview. So I just wanted to have and for the old visa it was cancelled, saying cancelled without prejudice. So I'm kind of a bit nervy. I'm kind of wondering what to expect.
And, visa was cancelled before it had expired, or is it?
It was expired. It was expired.
Okay, so
it was
okay. So
for that it was supposed to. It was up on the 17th of September. It was up on the 17th of September. I think it's 2020.
I'm trying to help you out a little bit. Let me help you out a little. I just want to make sure that it wasn't cancelled for any other purpose. It was just cancelled because you renewed, right?
Because I traveled on it the last time.
Right, and it was good. When you submit your application to, a new application, your visa was good, yes?
Yes, and it was supposed to be up on I think it was 17th, the 17th of September. No, it wasn't good. 17th of September 2024, that when it was expired.
But it had already expired?
Yes.
Okay. So normally they would cancel that anyway. Whenever you apply for a new visa, it would say cancel without prejudice, because now you're going to be applying, and if it's successful anyway, you get a new visa. I just want to make sure you didn't do anything unlawful, or they had canceled your visa before it even expired. That's what I wanted to make sure. But moving forward, remember, I told right here on Nationwide, I said beginning September 2nd, they're going to more likely than not want people to come in for an in-person interview. So what you are trying to do is, do the interview, renew your visa without that interview. And I guess they said, not, we want to see you in person. So I think they want to see you in person. So don't get alarmed. It could be that might be an indication that maybe how you have traveled before. I hope none of your travels were 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, or any long term like that.
I'm kind of mad because I did, like, the first time I went 3 times. One time was for 2 weeks, and then I was back, and then one time was for 4 months, and then pretty close to 5 months. That was
okay. Stop right there. That's right on the money. That's exactly what I've been telling you on Nationwide. You don't listen to me every Monday morning. I tell people,
I do. That's why I'm a bit nervous, but I'm just hoping everything go okay.
Well, that answers the question, and that proves exactly what I've been saying all along, that, you can't be spending 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and maybe if you had not, because remember, one of the questions they ask on the new on the DS-16, when you're completing it, it asks you to list your last 5 entries to the U.S. And I like when my clients are renewing, I like my last 5 entries to be, 1 week here, 2 weeks here. It just looks good. More than I'm filling out the application and I'm seeing 4 months, 5 months, it does not look good. And that is something they're going to use their discretion and say, no, we ain't renewing it without you coming in. I want to see you. And believe me, right now, they're going to question you about those 4 months and almost 5 months, because to them, they're going to think that you are working unlawfully in the United States. Or if even so, why weren't you working in Jamaica? How did your employer give you 5 months off, 4 months off, 3 months off?
Well, one other thing was,
you don't have to tell me. I don't want you to tell me anything, because people are listening.
Yeah.
But I'm just giving you, you can do a consultation if you want, but don't give me too much information on the radio.
Okay then. But I'm kind of like just, being a bit itchy, but
go ahead. You already have the interview, but I'm giving you the information. They're going to question you about the reason of that 4 months, 5 months, and you better have a valid reason.
Okay.
And how were you supporting yourself all that time in the United States?
The support is fine because I have support. I wasn't working.
All right. Well, if you want further, you can book a consultation with Opal to see, or All right.
Okay then. All right. Thank you so much, Opal. Ladies, do enjoy it.
All right. You too.
Good luck.
Oh boy. Yeah, guys, remember, please. Opal says it like almost every week. Your vacation or travel to the United States, especially if you have on your file that you are employed, leaving for 5 months and you're not a teacher who have your leave piled up, then it's a red flag. It's gonna be a red flag. A question here on YouTube for you, Nadine. It says, can a Canadian citizen who is living in Jamaica file for a spouse who is living in Jamaica?
Thanks, Nora. And the answer is yes. As a Canadian citizen, if you are living outside of Canada, you can sponsor your spouse. A permanent resident does not have that same benefit. Now, as much as you're a Canadian citizen living outside of Canada, you still need to show that you have intentions of returning to Canada with that spouse, and of course showing, where you'll stay and how you will support yourself. Now, Nora, when you're sponsoring your spouse, you do not need to show a minimum income. So that's one of the good things or great things about sponsoring a spouse or a dependent child. You do not need to show a minimum income, but of course you do need to show that you're in a genuine relationship. So again, to answer the question, Nora, yes, the person can sponsor their spouse if they're a citizen living outside of Canada.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nadine. Here's another one. This one is for you, I am assuming, Opal. It says, what's the waiting period for a spouse for the papers to come through? I'm assuming it's for filing.
All right. So it depends, though, if the spouse that the petitioner is a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. If it's a U.S. citizen, it normally takes about a year or so for the immigrant petition to be approved. And it also depends on if that spouse is in the U.S. or outside the U.S. So if everybody's living in the U.S., then you put everything in at one time, do the whole adjustment package. If the person is a U.S. citizen, if the petitioner is a U.S. citizen, it would take maybe about a year and a half for that person to become a permanent resident. If the person is outside the U.S., then it's two-step. You take the I-130, takes about a year, and then within about another year or so for them to get the interview at the U.S. Consulate. If the person is a permanent resident, it takes about maybe 3 years before a visa number becomes available.
Okay. All right. This person in the YouTube chat seeking some advice here. It says, my 14-year-old son was denied after I tried to renew his visa. He has never overstayed, I'm assuming this is saying, and he has been traveling from he was 5. His dad is married to a U.S. citizen.
So maybe that could be one right there. And also it's based, for a minor child, it's normally based on the parents' eligibility as well. So I'm curious as to know if that mother has a U.S. visa and has been traveling, and what that parents' travel pattern has been. Any long, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, similarly, because then that child's visa application will be dependent. And yes, if that child's father is now married to a U.S. citizen and they know that he's there sorting out himself, they may be hesitant about giving that child a visa because they might think once that child re-enters the U.S. now, that stepmommy is just going to file for that child. Could be.
Well, if you want Opal to look into it, you can book a consultation. I'm going to use this opportunity to ask you ladies to give your contact information for those persons who are waiting. Opal and then Nadine.
Thank you, Nora. So for Opal Lee, the phone number in Jamaica is 876-854-3599. That's 876-854-3599. In the United States, it's 954-358-2020. That's 954-358-2020. You may find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at FlowJam Legal. That's FLOJAMLEGAL, FlowJam Legal. Over to you, Nadine.
Thanks, Opal. For Nadine Mehabir, our contact number in Jamaica, it is 876-754-4391. That's 876-754-4391. In Canada, it is 1-416-249-5885. That's 1-416-249-5885. Our email address is info@cdn, intl.com. Thanks, Miss Nora.
All right. Thank you, ladies. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will continue taking your calls and your questions from the YouTube chat.
Fill all your prescriptions, get cosmetics and other pharmaceutical items at Mannings Hill Pharmacy, located at 34A Mannings Hill Road, Kingston. Telephone 924-6280. At Mannings Hill Pharmacy, they stock all the hard-to-get medication. The time by Mannings Hill Pharmacy is...
It's 9:46.
Move with Morenzu at Burt's Auto Parts and get 15% off Morenzu products, including radiators, air filters, oil filters, fuel filters, tie rod ends, rack ends, ball joints, and stabilizer links. Keep your car performing at its best with quality parts you can trust. This offer runs until September 20, 2025, so don't miss out. All you need to do is tell your sales rep the code. Hashtag Move with Morenzu 15. Move smart. Move with Morenzu. Only at Burt's Auto Parts. It hurts if you don't check Burt's.
Good morning, good morning. You are back here inside the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM. It's Immigration Mondays. We're joined by U.S. Immigration Attorney Opal Lee and Canadian Immigration Consultant Nadine Mahaber. We are taking your calls. If you have any question, give us a call. The number to call, or the numbers you can call, 876-630-9371, and that goes up to 4. And 618-8255. Julius is on the line. Good morning, Julius.
Top of the morning to you and your team. How are you today?
Doing good, Julius. How are you?
I'm looking, living, and learning.
All right.
That's happening, eh? But quickly, to my U.S. friends here, this $15,000 thing I heard they're talking about to the U.S. Embassy. It's supposed to be like a deposit or something like that. Does that move?
The how much money?
Did Julius? Oh, we lost Julius. The $15,000 he said though.
$15. I don't know if you're talking about that 15,000, but it doesn't apply to Jamaica,
right?
At all.
Yeah, I think that's what he was asking about. He did say 15,000.
Well, if he's still listening, no, it doesn't apply to Jamaica. Please, fingers crossed, and hope nobody's listening then.
All right. Someone was asking earlier, I'm not sure if it was for the US or Canada, so I'll just ask both of you to respond. He says if a wedding invitation can help with getting a visa when applying for a visa.
Well, when going to the U.S., they want to see what the purpose of your visit is. So, of course, if it's a wedding invitation, yes, you can bring that along with you to the interview and impress upon them that, listen, I beg you, I just want to go to the, this wedding, and I'm come right back to my home country. But you need to show your ties to your home country, your employment. If you have family members, house, car, land, whatever it has, to assure them that after this wedding, and to make sure it's not going to be your wedding, but after this wedding, that you're going to come back to the Jamaica.
Yes.
So yes, it doesn't hurt to have that.
Nadine?
Yeah, I'm going to second what Opal said. Yeah, make sure it's not your wedding. Well, hopefully the wedding invitation will state the person's names that are being married or getting married. But pretty much what Opal said, Nora, you still need to show your ties to your home country.
Right.
So yes, the reason for your trip is to attend a wedding. When do you plan to visit? Because on the application form, it does ask, what are the dates that you plan to visit? And hopefully the dates you plan to visit on the application form will match the date on the wedding invitation. So again, you're showing your ties, your job letter, bank statements, property documents, if you're married, whether or not the spouse is accompanying you, and if you have children, include their birth certificate. So as for Canada, as much supporting documents as you can show, the better it is for you.
Nice. Thank you so much. Here's one from the YouTube chat. This person is asking if it's okay, Opal, for a retired person to spend 3 months in the US.
Right. I'm not saying it's not. Again, every situation is going to be different. If you are spending 3 months, you're basically opening up yourself to questions, and they're going to know now that you're retired, and that you have nothing really holding you in Jamaica per se. So you're putting yourself in that position too. It's really up to the consulate. If they believe that now, more likely than not, you're going to want to spend more time in the US more than in Jamaica. And if you're leading towards maybe migrating to the US. So in that situation, it's going to be different. But at least if you're retired and you show that, listen, I think the main reason, Nora, they're thinking you're working in the US. So if you're elderly, maybe they'll think that you're not working. But then it also depends on your family ties as well to the United States, because if they think that you have a child there who's 21 years old or who's going to file for you, and so you might have immigrant intent as opposed to non-immigrant, that is how your visas get cancelled.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Opal. Here is another question from YouTube. This one says, green card holder filing for spouse. Spouse is in the US and other spouses in Jamaica. Is a form needed to start the file, or which form is that?
I-130. So it's the I-130 that this person would file. The I-130 and the I-130A.
All right. Here's another one. Someone asking, where can they go? Green card holder in the US. Which other countries can I go to?
Have to find what they need to do is find out what country they want to go to and just see whether or not what the travel requirements is for that country.
All right, here's another one in the YouTube chat. Is this a question? Oh no, these are not questions. These are comments in the YouTube chat. Let me just scroll up to see if I missed any questions earlier on. Just to let you know that, well, we're almost up on the time. If you want to get a call in, we can squeeze one more in, 876-630-9371. And that goes up to 4 and 618-8255. I don't think I missed any questions.
Someone had asked about the visa lottery in the US. What is that? It's just basically a program where the US gives away certain immigrant visas annually, about 55,000 annually, but it's usually open to only countries that historically has low immigration rates to the US. Jamaica is not on that list. Jamaica has a lot of people migrating to the US.
Jamaica is definitely could not be. I didn't know that was a thing. Well, interesting. But of course, we would never ever be on any list for a visa lottery. Never. To the United States. Crazy. Well, Julius is back. Let's see if we can get Julius's question in before we have to go.
Hello?
Yes, Julius, go right ahead.
Yes, morning again. Sorry about that. I was asking about that $15,000 deposit thing. If we renew the visa, if it's affect us.
No, it does not apply to Jamaica.
Oh, it doesn't apply to Jamaica?
No, it doesn't. So go ahead and renew your visa.
Thank God for that. All right.
Okay. All right. And the final question before we go is a COVID vaccine requirement still in place for those on filing?
For the US, no. They no longer have that COVID vaccine requirement.
All right. I don't know why people always wait until the last minute to call, but Kenil, quickly, we don't have much time.
Okay, good morning. So I'm saying I have a sister living in Canada from about 2016, 2017. I'm asking if she would be able to file for me.
Hi, good morning. Unless she's in Manitoba, then she can support your application. So you would have to look at sponsoring yourself. You may contact our office if you need more assistance.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay, you're very welcome.
Okay. Ladies, I'm going to allow you to give your contact information before we have to run out of here. Opal and then Nadine.
Thank you as always, Nora. So for Opal Lee, the phone number in Jamaica is 876-854-3599. That's 876-854-3599. In the United States, it's 954-358-2020. That's 954-358-2020. You may schedule an appointment, visit our website at www.flowjamlegal.com, or you may also find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, at Flowjam Legal, FLOJAMLEGAL. Over to you, Nadine.
Thanks, Opal. For Nadine Mehabir, our contact number in Jamaica, it is 876-754-4391. That's 876-754-4391. In Canada, it is 1-416-249-5885. That's 1-416-249-5885. Our email address is info@cdnintl.com. Thanks, Miss Nora, and have a great week, everyone.
All right. Thank you, Opal and Nadine. And someone was asking for your last name. I probably heard it, but they don't know how to spell it, Nadine. So you can just go ahead and give them the spelling of that name.
My name is Nadine Mehabir. I'm from Westmoreland, and my dad is from St. Mary.
Spell the last name for them, please.
Oh, spell it.
Yes.
Mahabeer.
All right. There we go. Thank you, ladies. Enjoy the rest of your week and see you next week, hopefully. That's all the time we have for the Consumer Hour and Immigration Mondays this morning. We're going to make way now for Cliff Hughes Online.
That was the Consumer Hour with Nora Gay Banton. This is the World Championships Athletes Profile.